Good evening, dear viewers of Smart 24 TV. Welcome for both viewership and the listenership, of which we have the POLICON program, and with us we have the guest, Mr. Osinde Agre Stephen. He is a National Secretary for Mobilization. And tonight, you need to know that we have part of some of the political parties which we've not had, so much, but they are very active. He has one member of parliament, and it is important to also hear their analytical views, especially in regard to issues of policy, and that's the POLICON. My name is Dr. Tindeba, and Mr. Osinde, please, Agre. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Tindeba. Agre Stephen Osinde is my name. I'm the National Secretary for Mobilization of the People's Progressive Party. This is a party that has been in Uganda for more than 10 years.
More than 10 years.
More than 10 years. And we are lucky to, actually 15 from 2006. We are lucky to have a member of parliament at last. And we are working to ensure that we build it from there.
Yes, we appreciate.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. We appreciate for your effort, especially in making a contribution in the multi-party dispensation. And I understand your founder party president is Mzee
Bidandi Sali.
Bidandi Sali. And
yes,
this is
Honorable Bidandi Sali.
Honorable Bidandi Sali is an NRM historically, was the national political commissar, I think.
Yes.
Yes, and he was also
Minister for Local Government for 17 years.
In the NRM government.
In the NRM government.
And he formed the political party,
yes,
which is called, is the founder and president of People's Progressive Party.
Yes.
Wow.
He is now retired, and the party is being steered by Dr. Dick Odur. We have Dick Odur, and the Secretary General is Mr. David O.P. Alira.
You are ready to go. You are not a briefcase political party. You have a member of parliament.
Yes, we have.
And we expect you, as per the Yala Treaty, you are supposed to be sending one representative to represent you even in the East African Legislative Assembly.
Yes, that is in plan, and we have about 3 people, including myself,
yes,
as possible candidates for Yala.
Yes.
And we are yet to agree on one person. We don't want to front more than one person.
Why not for? Don't you want to front more?
No, there are a few slots, and we don't want to compete.
It's not a matter.
Ourselves.
It's not a matter of thoughts concerning East Africa Legislative Assembly. It's a matter of the Yara Treaty Act, which is section Article 50, Sub-Rule 1, and of which the gender and interest group, so long as some may be interested from gender and interest group, then it's upon Parliament to elect, because you avail Parliament the members whom you think that they are suitable, and they get the best.
But what would be the likelihood of the Parliament electing more than one person from the small PPP?
That will be for another talk. Tonight we are having a discussion which is relating to realities of agricultural financing and innovation as a solution to Uganda economic question. Dear viewers, as it is late night, it is very vividly known to us that on Tuesday, there was a reading of the national budget by His Excellency the President, of course through the delegated powers offered to the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning and Development. While looking through a number of statements were made, of which comprises indeed a speech, but what's to Uganda, what seems to remain very much variable is to recall that Uganda and Africa generally, we operate under an agrarian economy. Matters, the economic contribution to our country has been much more attributed to tourism, which is ranking higher, and there are other opportunities that have been cited, including exploration of oil, to be also a potential sector that may contribute to the economic growth of this country. Leaving that aside, it is now over 35 years, a number of programs by the NRM all have been gearing towards developing the agricultural sector of this country. And by introducing a number of programs, It is again known to us that as the budget was read, since we are dealing with agricultural financing, out of 48.1 trillion, 1.449 trillion was allocated by the Ministry of Finance to promote agro-industrialization standard and market entry. We are aware that a number of programs before the introduction of Polish development model, a number of commitment was made before, and that ranges to the time when we had the programs. Our dear guest, giving us a background.
Yes.
When we had the plan for modernization of agriculture is the foundation,
yes,
of what is indeed expected to be leading us to what is referred as now Polish development model. It is important, dear viewers, to know that Uganda have come from far, but we need to assess in our analytical program like this whether these different programs that have been name tagged by different names seem to be improving Uganda to be one of the competitive economies of the world, especially those which are excelling as middle-income economies. We call Singapore, which was at the same level of Ugandan economy at the same standard by independence. Singapore, Malaysia, and we also have rival sources which indicate that by 1962 we were in full capacity even to donate to some Arabia countries, including Dubai, that we were doing very well. For those of you who need to trace the economic growth of this country, Uganda had excelled in cash crop economy, growing cash crops like cotton, coffee, and
tea.
And to our information, cotton were excelling to the extent that we had set the ginger textile industry, which had begun to shift us from purchasing these second-hand clothes to our original textile, the Ugandan-made brand of textile.
Nightil.
I believe we're going far. I'm not saying we are nowhere, but again, a desirable question is with us. What should be the solution to the economic question of Uganda, or where it is very difficult to even maybe favor the outcry of the citizens that continue to call for reduction of taxes on fuel and so forth? Please, our dear guest, you're welcome. And I would like to welcome you to comment, to give your analytical view, and especially relating to what also your political party policy believes, to give us solution, not lamenting, not only criticizing, but to give us solution to the Ugandan economic question. And the subject matter remains agricultural financing and innovation. We believe it is the way to go.
Thank you, moderator, for giving me this opportunity. I'm Agre Stephen Osinde once again, the National Secretary for Mobilization of the People's Progressive Party. I have come here to talk about that subject, not as an economist, but as an ordinary Ugandan who is concerned about the welfare of our people. Agriculture provides livelihoods for many, many, many people, especially in developing and emerging economies. Yet, access to agricultural financing is still a problem, especially here in Uganda. The government puts in so little because at some point, all the time we were saying that agriculture forms the backbone of Uganda's economy. Why is it that tourism has overtaken it and all other aspects? If it was always the backbone of Uganda's economy, it is because of little financing to the sector. Even the banks, as we have them, are reluctant to give agricultural financing to our people because sometimes, or most of the time, our people don't have collateral that the banks ask for. So the onus is on our government to ensure that the common people receive agricultural financing in order to enhance the development of the sector of agriculture. As I said, agriculture provides livelihoods for people. We get food from growing of crops and rearing of animals and going into the fisheries sector. But up to now, our people use rudimentary systems, rudimentary tools. There is no effort that has been made in real mechanization or bringing technology to the agricultural aspect in Uganda. It is made worse when a budget like this one is read and most of the money is put into more of consumption than productive sectors. Agriculture, for example, is a productive sector. And if you want to continue having food security, if you want the livelihoods of our people to be improved, if we want our people to live a better life, then there is a need for a government that cares for its people to put in more money. I have the summary of the budget here. Human capital development, 8.7 trillion. Governance and security, 7 trillion. Infrastructure development, 4.1. Then you come to agriculture, which is given only, agricultural industrialization, which is given only 1.2. Actually, a reduction from 1.6 in the previous financial year. Is this really serious? When we think that government should increase the budget on agriculture, it is when they reduce it. And yet we want food security. We want the sector to continue servicing the livelihoods of our people. Even the people, especially the people who live in rural areas, are the ones involved in production. The people in town only receive food from the rural areas. So the money economy should go to the rural areas to develop the agricultural sector so that even the people who live in the urban areas can have food, because food comes from the rural areas. But you can see from 1.6 in the financial year 2021-2022 to 1.1 in 2022-2023. They are reducing. Maybe even next year they'll reduce it even further. This is not fair. And that's why we are concerned that if we are not getting the best out of agriculture, it is because the cow has not been well fed, and it will definitely give us little milk.
By you and the viewers, as you continue the discussion, how much could you expect or encourage the government to invest in the agricultural sector, and compared to where you could expect money to come from?
No, of course, the government gets money from taxes.
Yes. And
then some non-tax revenue. I am aware that even when we have 48 something trillion of a budget, Uganda is going to only collect 29 trillion from tax revenue and non-tax revenue, 29 trillion. Now, agriculture is a productive area. It means that when you, let me give an example. When you buy a seed, if you are given a seed to plant, even if you are starving, isn't it better you plant so that next time you have a harvest? But if you eat the seed, you will not have anything to harvest, and therefore you will die of hunger. That's why I think, just remind me, the Millennium Development Goals had envisaged that agriculture would be given a certain percentage. Are you
what I recall is the Maputo Protocol,
the Maputo
which
Protocol
talks about 10%.
10%.
By each African country.
Yes.
Especially to allocate 10%
to
of
agriculture.
Budget to agriculture.
So this time we would be getting 4.8 trillion to agriculture.
4.8.
Yes, just going by that alone, it would be 4.8, and it would boost the sector and enhance production, and we shall be overwhelmed by the amount of food we shall have, and also cash crops for export to other areas. Remember, there are countries that cannot produce anything, and they would be relying on us for supplies of agricultural products. Even right now, the Middle East countries get some supplies from here. There are farms in Luero that grow fruits, pineapples, mangoes, and other things for direct export to Dubai and other Middle East countries. But reports indicate that they are not enough. So why can't the budget put 10% of the budget to agriculture so that production is enhanced and we can be better off selling to those countries that whose land is very semi-arid or completely arid areas, and they cannot, they depend on us. They would be depending on us. If more money is put to agriculture, I'm told that Karamoja, for example, has one of the most fertile land in Uganda. And that Karamoja area alone would be able to feed the whole of Uganda, the East and Central Africa, if there was, but they lack rain. There should be a plan to take a big irrigation scheme to Karamoja. And when irrigation is done, not only in Karamoja, everywhere, here we only depend on the natural phenomenon. If it rains, then we are good to go. If it doesn't, then we wait for rain. Yet we have a lot of water in Lake Victoria, Lake Kyoga, and other lakes. I am told Amin, in his own wisdom in ports, had decided to divert the River Nile to pass Karamoja so that he could be able to have a serious irrigation scheme in that area. I don't know if that is true. Even if it was not viable, but he had shown his intention of making Karamoja and Uganda better. Of course, we are talking about the budget. And the budget is simply an intention. What the government intends to do for its people, where it intends to get the money, and how it's going to appropriate the money. Now, the complaint today, agricultural financing, 1%. I mean, 1.2 trillion is what percentage of this?
As you are continuing to give information to Ugandans,
yes,
I want also to be generous to my fellow countrymen and women, especially reflecting on what, the statement that was made, the speech, reading of the national budget, speech. And I will concentrate on page 20, because this was done at Kololo, but we are continuing to look at what exactly the government has in store for Ugandans.
Yes.
And then you compare what maybe you may consider to be gaps to be filled.
Yes.
Number one, during the next financial year, dear ladies and gentlemen, one of the plan of the government, the NRM government, is looking at promoting agro-industrialization, standards, and market entry by making the following interventions. I'm not reading the speech, reading it, but yet to review what exactly was stated. Number one, to expand storage and processing capacity for agricultural commodities within the 18 zones of the country. Number two,
the storage and?
Yeah, storage and processing capacity.
Processing.
For agricultural commodities within the 18 zones of the country. Another plan to improve agriculture, which you are indeed applauded to be the backbone of the economy,
yes,
is to enhance the use of the warehouse receipt system to improve commodity storage, reduce post-harvest, losses, improve value chain management, and increase income to farmers. So the government seems to be having some serious interventions. More to say, I would like to state them so that we can have a general debate. Our topic is on agriculture.
Yes.
Another planned intervention is to provide funds for private sector investment in key commodity agro-processing value chains through soft and patient debt. Patient debt from UDB, Uganda Development Bank, and equity from UDC, Uganda, yes, UDC. And number 4, it goes on to say, according to the plan of the government, strengthening of standards of quality assurance to improve access to markets. Another promise for intervention is establishing a system of insurance and management of internationally recognized product barcodes. And here they are looking at branding, packaging, and labeling of Uganda's product for visibility.
Yes.
Also, the budgetary intervention next year in terms of agricultural financing will focus on enhancing implementation of the export development strategy, including carrying out negotiation for access and entry to regional and international market. The NRM government continue to state, because they are the ones who are in power. They are interested to establish fully service industrial parks. Industrial parks especially looking to agro-processing.
Yes.
Then promotion of and manufacture of pharmaceutical, industrial sugar, then herbal extracts, and cotton-based medical sandals. Then also, the government continue to bring a planned intervention, which is budgeted for, finalize the enactment of the pending legal instrument, for example, the competition bill and consumer protection bill, consumer protection bill, and counterfeits and quality product laws. Then it continues to promise in this financial year, the government, that there shall be a focus to develop a master plan for the Zombo tea factory, which we have talked about, and establishing enabling infrastructure, including water and electricity. Then the 2 last but not least is to expand the solid fruit factory by installing additional processing equipment. Then the last one, supporting establishment of 200 aggregation and collective market societies with cleaning, drying, grading, and processing equipment. And now, back to the point, the amount located to do all this, among others, is 1.2 trillion. 449 trillion. It is what, according to the statement. There are maybe other additional.
Yes.
So you now, as we do make a policy analysis, looking at the political promises, of course, this is the government, the system, the political system, and the actual, what exactly should be done and what is missing to be done. Comparing to the existing policy of your political policies of your party. And above all, you are the citizen, because you said, you don't want to discuss this as an economist, but as a common citizen, a farmer. Please, you're welcome back to give us your analytical review in this, to give us a direction of whether we are going to trade well in terms of improving, progressing in our agriculture sector.
Somebody once told me that a budget is what you intend to do, and the money or the lack of it is the reason why you can't do what you intend to do. For all that you have read, those are very good intentions, very good plans, very good theories.
They are theories.
Yes, but the practice of it may not be possible. 1, because of underfunding, which I've already alluded to. 2, because of corruption. In Uganda, even the very little money that there is for a program in agriculture or anywhere is simply siphoned away, stolen. Maybe that's the correct word. So while those are very good plans, any government would think like that. By the way, I belong to the People's Progressive Party. We don't regard ourselves as an outright opposition party. We present ourselves as an alternative party. Maybe if anybody wants to call PP something, you should call us the alternative party. Have you heard about that?
Alternative party.
Alternative party, not opposition party. We have not come to oppose. We have come to provide a perfect alternative that if Ugandans can entrust us with power, we can do all that and more by giving appropriate financing to the sector. Starting with the 10% of the Maputo Protocol. Then some of those can be achievable. Why I call some of those ideas theories is because by the time you want to implement them, some of the money will have been stolen and the rest of the money will not be enough. And in the next budget, they will still give us the same plans. The same plans will come back in the next budget. And again, they will cut down the budget from now 1.6 trillion to 1.2. Okay, if it is 1.44, that could be an addition. But if they keep cutting down the budget, how will all those good ideas, a budget is a good idea, definitely it is. But if you are not going to have the commitment to give appropriate financing to that particular sector, then it is not going to work out. That is where my fear is. We have been given so many promises over the years to improve agriculture, to improve health, to improve education, but many of the things remain stunted because of corruption and underfunding. The little funds that are appropriated for particular very good programs are simply stolen by some people. And maybe not enough is done to apprehend and prosecute the corrupt. So they go away and enjoy the money. So my problem is not to oppose this program. It is a very good plan, but I fear it may not be properly implemented because it has been underfunded, the sector has been underfunded, and the little, because of the scourge of corruption in this country, will be stolen. That is my fear. I don't know if in this budget, what is the expression of the commitment to fight corruption? So that we can begin to trust that what has been promised will be delivered because there is a commitment. Right now, the COSASE is investigating, this is a different sector, where 10 or 11 billion shillings of government money was released to compensate about 6 landowners. It is coming out that even the 6 landowners, some of them or all were fake. Where did the 10 billion go, for example? We are being told that the person who is right now the Inspector General of Government was involved in the idea of paying 10 billion to fake investors, landowners. I'm wondering, I don't want to preempt what is going to come out from the COSASE investigations, but from what is coming out, I don't think she will still have the moral authority to be the Inspector General of Government by the end of that investigation. I'm told some of the people who were involved have even run out of the country, which means they are guilty. And this is going to happen in the agricultural sector, it will happen in the health sector, it will happen everywhere. I'm told when you go to Congo or South Sudan, you go to the clinics there, you find medicine, property of the government of Uganda. And yet when you go to our health centers, there is no medicine. So corruption has gone so deep that it worries me. That is one of the things that should be dealt with first, if we can trust that even the little money that there is can be able to do something. The agricultural sector and other sectors as well.
Yes. We'll be going for the commercial breaks in the next 2 minutes, but I would like to give you the opportunity to you and then to the dear viewers that the government continue to emphasize it has a plan for agricultural production. And the allocation of the amount of money which you have cited, there is the expected hope through the parish development model. And whereas you've given a number of, observations looking at whether the government will execute this plan or not, it is believed that a number of programs have been, many citizens have been getting involved in, or Ugandans. And in this case, we had NADS program, okay? And that program, there was NADS program 1, NADS program 2. It is being phased because different actors were able to bring on board with the modification. Then Operation Wealth Creation and EMIOGA. Now to parish development model. What do you think is the hidden agenda of changing these different names? And not only knowing the hidden agenda, but do you see a progressive agrarian economy in Uganda as the government continue to bring in different efforts, to introduce new efforts and new zeal to upgrade and to improve the agrarian economy of Uganda?
I have not studied the different policies or programs of government in the development of agriculture, but I know there has been all those that you have enumerated. I don't know how different the parish development model is going to be. This morning, I received a call from somebody from my village. I have a garden, I need like 2.5 or 3 kilograms of maize to plant, and I want to plant tomorrow or the other day. I have only 1.5 kilos. Do you think you can send me some money and I buy more? Imagine just a few kilos. Our people don't have seeds, and they would like to be supported. If the parish development model is going to attend to that kind of thing, giving the people seeds, okay, at a very low or no cost so that they can produce, that can be okay. I don't want to speculate whether the parish development model is going to succeed or not, but the fact that the other programs, the earlier programs, have not done enough to make the livelihoods of our people better, to improve the sector, I am then right to express my fear that even the parish development model may be dead before arrival.
Thank you so much for your observation, and this is subject to our continuous review of our policy review, especially relating to the agrarian economy. How can we have a progressive economy that is basically depending upon an agrarian economy? We will be coming back from a commercial break in the second few minutes. Stay tuned on Smart 24 TV. God bless you.